evening. Welcome to Mercy College. My name is Bruce Strauss. I manage the Media Studies program here for the college. And I'm very happy to be here with you today celebrating our 35th Quill Awards ceremony at Mercy College. Each year at the Quill Awards, we celebrate the accomplishments of students for excellence in coursework, a program alum for success in the field after graduation, and a professional in the field for their overall career achievements. The Media Studies program offers a Bachelor's of Science degree in Film Culture, Journalism, and Radio and Television Production, with additional course sequences in Public Relations and Theater. It's a fine program where many students have gone on to successful careers in media. But before we go to the awards, I am honored to have with us tonight the 12th president of Mercy College. Please give a warm Media Studies welcome to President Timothy Hall.
Well, good evening. It's great to see you all. This is a fun time in the life of a college president. For about 2 or 3 weeks, I get to wander around and see some of the brightest students at the college who achieved so many great things. It doesn't hurt that sometimes there's food involved, so that's a pleasant thing to encounter. Where are the seniors in this group? The seniors? Okay. Congratulations. I'll see you on the stage here in a few weeks. Look forward to celebrating that accomplishment in your life. I'm so proud of the things that you're doing. I get to see some of them fairly regularly. I saw issues of the impact this year, which is always a pleasure to get to read something as fine as that. I got to see the theater group do some of its performances, the theater club. So I just want to wish you all a happy conclusion to this year. I look forward to seeing the seniors at graduation.
Thank you, President Hall. Joe Torres graduated with a bachelor's degree in communication from SUNY Brockport. He had an idea about what he was interested in as far back as the 10th grade. He remembers talking with some classmates about working in radio and television. It seemed exciting, and he figured since he was pretty good at writing and enjoyed working with people, it was worth pursuing. His parents were supportive, even though they didn't quite understand this idea about a career in media. But like most parents, they really just want their children to be happy while being able to earn a living and maintaining a good lifestyle. Working at the station a few years after graduation, Joe's realization of breaking news came to fruition as he found himself assigned to a breaking news story about a runaway train, and moments later, reporting from the seat of a helicopter flying through the skies chasing that train. Soon that story he was reporting on was being picked up by other stations nationally. And so Joe Torres' attraction to breaking news had been solidified and has earned him numerous awards, which include a Peabody Award, an Edward R. Murrow Award for his coverage on world-changing events after 9/11, and an Emmy Award for his coverage of the Greenpoint gas implosions in Brooklyn back in 2001. When asked about how he approaches stories with severe tragic elements, like the Metro-North train derailment in Valhalla back in 2015, Joe says, you have to be polite, you have to be sensitive, but most of all, you must be human. And from that point, you can relate to the victim's trauma to tell their stories with honesty and dignity. Over the last 3 decades, Joe Torres' career has allowed him to cover popes and the Vatican, address television audiences from the news anchor's chair, and host a weekly current affairs program. When asked what he'd like to do next, he says he's very happy doing what he's doing, but he'd like to try his hand at teaching at some point down the line, which I think would be an easy transition. However, he'd have to get used to the much slower pace of academics. It's not breaking news, let me tell you. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome this year's Quill Award for Professional Achievement, a very familiar face in the tri-state television media landscape. Please welcome Mr. Joe Torres.
What a pleasure to be with you guys. My first time here, and I grew up in Westchester County, so you've got a beautiful campus. President Hall, thank you so much for having me and for all of you being here. I was looking down at the list of former winners of the Quill Award, and some of my colleagues are there. My anchor wife, Sandra Bookman. You know Sandra. If you watch Eyewitness News on the weekends, I co-anchor with Sandra Bookman, and she was honored with a Quill Award back in 2007. So it's been some time. Al Primo, he was here a few years ago. Al Primo, a winner, previous winner, the creator of Eyewitness News, the format of Eyewitness News that puts people, regular eyewitnesses on the street, ahead of the politicians, if you will, in the sense when it comes time to tell a story, put the people there first. That's Eyewitness News, a format that is spread across the country. So I had the privilege of interviewing Al in November because Eyewitness News just celebrated its 50th anniversary as a format. And Eyewitness News as a whole will be honored this year at the New York Emmy Awards coming up this weekend. So what a privilege to be part of a family, which is a word that we often hear out on the streets. I've been at the station for 23 years and I'm in the middle of the seniority list of reporters. So if you guys watch Eyewitness News, people like Tim Fleischer and Lucy Yang and Jim Dolan and N.J. Burkett, they've all been there longer than me. What does that tell you about a place? Probably a pretty good place to work. If it was really bad, we'd go somewhere else. And for me, it's a big reason why so many people in the tri-state area watch Eyewitness News. If I hear it once a day, I hear it 10 times a day. You guys are like family. I grew up watching you guys. Roger Grimsby, Bill Butel, Roseanne Scamardella, Geraldo Rivera, all those names we still hear. So it's an honor to be part of that. Seniors, can I see your hands again? Congratulations. Super duper achievement. That's absolutely fantastic, and I share the joy with you, not only as a colleague, but also as the father of a student who's about to graduate in a couple of days as well. So he's at Penn State University, and he's going to graduate on Friday. So my wife and I are very excited to go to that commencement. But congratulations to all of you guys. A couple of quick questions, and I don't want to eat up all the time, but just to give you an indication of where we are in the world of journalism and media today. Show of hands, students now. How many of you physically read a newspaper? Like the actual paper? You know, that's more than I thought. Thank you. Show of hands, how many of you read the newspaper digitally? Very good. Okay. And lastly, how many of you rely for your news and information on your phone? Yes, the vast majority. I guess I should ask you, how many of you watch local news on the TV? Well, you guys are junkies. That's good. That is very good. Thank you. It warms my heart. Because my children do not watch local TV news. They're 24 and 21. And the vast majority of their generation, and you're probably teaching this in classes now, are getting their information from this handy little device right here. So, my quest for you guys to maintain that journalistic integrity as you head out into the real world. The challenge for us, and for me, some of the older generation, has been, you know, the way we tell a news story now is starting to change. The way we pursue the news story. I'll start the day. Joe, breaking news in the Bronx. You gotta run. There's been some tragedy, bodega shooting, you know, whatever. And we go. And it used to be that the first thing that I did when I got there was, all right, what's not going to be here in the next 5 minutes? You got to shoot the flames of the fire because they're going to go out. The firefighters are going to leave. You have to get the interviews with the eyewitnesses or the people who are here now because they're going to leave. So those are the first things that we did when we got to a news story. Now, what happens when we get to the news story? Did you shoot it on your phone? Does your security camera system have any video of the perp? Did you get the rescuers on your cell phone somewhere? And the whole concept now has somewhat changed where that's the first thing I do when I get there. And for you TV news people, video tells the story. So if you don't have the video, don't write a big long story about it, because when you go to edit it, you'll say, how am I going to cover this? I have no video. So you're constantly looking for video. That's been difficult for me. The next thing that happens, where's the social media teacher? Reporters arrive on the scene. What's the first thing they do? Bing, picture, posted, Twitter. Instagram, Facebook. The philosophy used to be that if I got there first, I'm not telling my colleagues that I'm here, and I got the interview with the exclusive interview with the guy over there, because what's going to happen? Well, then they're going to get it, and it's not exclusive anymore. So I used to put that in my pocket and hang on to it. Now the philosophy is, I get there, post it, get the picture, tell everyone. And to this day, there are people at Channel 4 and Channel 2 who will walk up and say, yeah, we saw your story on Facebook, or we saw your story on the news at noon, and that's why we're here. So we broke it. But the whole mentality of hanging on to something that was exclusive is gone. Do it here digitally now. Be first here. But please, gang, be accurate. Please be accurate. It's much more important to be accurate than to be first. It's nice to be accurate and first, but the emphasis is on accuracy, balance, and fairness. And if you're not going to put it on broadcast, don't put it on digital either. Just to put it in real terms, yesterday, Haverstraw, West Haverstraw, breaking news. I left the story that I've been working on all day. We run up to West Haverstraw, a domestic dispute between a man and a woman who had a child, which was at the center of the dispute, chases her across Route 9W, pulls out a 12-inch knife, and literally starts stabbing the woman at the entrance to the parking lot of a strip mall on 9W. I couldn't believe it. I arrive, wouldn't you know it, security camera video from the neighboring beverage center captured it. And we got the video. Now, big decision. And we're keenly aware that you're watching the news at dinner time. Talk to the managers, I give them the video. They say, we're not going to show the stabbing. I mean, the video shows him repeatedly stabbing the woman. And manager says, we're going to stop the video, you're going to freeze it. Now, I tell you that because if you got the video on your phone and you're not putting it on broadcast, don't put it on your Facebook page. The same rules that apply to broadcast apply to you as the reporter on your Facebook page. So you guys, as you head out into the world, keep that in mind, okay? Please be aware of what you post. Be as responsible in what you post as you are what you put on broadcast. And I'm boring you, so I won't go much further. For those of you who are looking for a career in front of the camera, show of hands. Okay, a few, most of you, one over there. All right, those of you looking for a career behind the camera, that would be the rest of you in terms of, okay. I'm a front of the camera kind of guy. The way life has changed from when I was pursuing, first of all, was all on videotape. Now you guys post it on YouTube or you send an email, which is fine and much easier. But I was willing to travel. And by travel, I mean go to a smaller market. New York is the largest television market in the country. So New York is the place where you end up. It's not the place where you start. Now that's changed a little bit with New York 1, News 12, RNN. Those didn't exist when I was around. So you can go there, get a little bit of experience, make your mistakes on the air in front of a smaller audience, and then work your way up to someplace bigger. But please, please keep in mind that if you want to advance, sometimes you need to be ready to move to a smaller market, make your mistake. And by the way, it's so beneficial in the sense that you experience a different part of the country. You meet people that have maybe culturally different values, a different approach to life. My first job was in Savannah, Georgia. And they looked at me funny, not because I was a Puerto Rican, but because I was a New Yorker. I was a Yankee. In fact, I was a damn Yankee because I moved there. That's the definition between the two. Yankee, you're just one. If you go there and you live there, you're a damn Yankee. So, but I still have friends from there. So don't be afraid to pick up, relocate, go to a small market, go learn about how life is in Texas, in California, in Florida, in Georgia, in North Carolina. It's a beautiful country, and you learn a little bit about a lot. That's one of the blessings of being a reporter. I talk to an expert in a different field every day. Tomorrow I'm going to talk to a brain surgeon about a parasite surgery that he did on a woman. I mean, it's just fascinating. And I think that's what makes the job so exciting. And for you guys who are pursuing that, news, you'll see that it's exciting. You know how you'll see it? You're going to go to a dinner like this one day, and you're going to sit at a round table with perfect strangers, And you're going to go around the table and say, oh, what do you do? And one guy's going to say, oh, I sell insurance. And the other guy's going to say, I'm a stockbroker. And the third one's going to say, oh, I'm an auto dealer. And you're going to say, I'm a television news reporter. Guess which one of those four they're going to want to talk to? They're going to want to talk to you. Because it's fun and dynamic and interesting. And that's no offense to stockbrokers, auto dealers, and insurance salesmen. What they do is essential and necessary. But what you do is exciting, and it's fun, and it's different. And you're going to meet great people along the way. So persevere, be strong, enjoy what you do, and you'll make a difference, okay? And I'll end it with that positive note. When you're out there, be a human being. Be a human being when you're talking to the mother who just lost her child in a tragedy. If you're going to be the reporter that runs up to them and sticks the microphone in their face and says, how do you feel? You're going to get kicked somewhere where it hurts. And you're going to deserve it. But if you walk up to them, and it's not an act, it's sincerity, if you walk up to them with a sense of heart and a sense of passion and say to them, I'm a father too. I can't imagine what you're going through. And if you have the strength to talk to me, great. If you don't and want me to walk away, I perfectly understand. And you would be surprised how many people say, I want the world to know about my son now. That's a tremendous lesson. Take that with you, put it in your back pocket. And you will find that the stories come to you instead of you going to the story. Because the word will spread. Yeah, that woman I met, she wasn't your typical reporter. She was really sweet and really nice. And she's the woman I want to tell my story to. At that point, you've made a big impact. All right? I'll be around if you guys want to talk later. Enjoy the night. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Joe. Shannon Freeman graduated from Mercy College's Media Studies program with a concentration in film and culture back in 2014. Currently, Shannon is a television director for CBSN 24-hour streaming news. Shannon directs live breaking news, again in the afternoons, and other programs for the station. While a student, Shannon had interned with News 12 Westchester during the spring and summer of 2012. There she learned the automated television broadcast system very similar to the one used in her current position at CBSN. Making a good impression at News 12, Shannon was hired after graduation in 2014, where she directed local news programs for the cable TV channel. After gaining more experience, Shannon applied and was hired for the current position she holds right now. In her private time, Shannon contributes as a mentor to the Brooklyn Mentoring Program, where last spring she mentored a young woman producing a 10-minute documentary film about women of color and their unique challenges in modern society. Shannon hopes to continue making a difference on a very personal level with such activity as her work schedule permits. Regarding her future aspirations, Shannon says she's excited continuing to learn and practice the skills for her current position while exploring newer aspects of technology and streaming news services. So ladies and gentlemen, this year's Quill Award for Outstanding Alumna goes to Ms. Shannon Freeman.
My name is Shannon Freeman, and I graduated from Mercy in 2014. I graduated with a Media Studies degree in Film and Culture. I currently work for CBS News, and I work under CBSN, which is CBS's news 24-hour digital news service. You can get it on your Roku, your Apple TV, your devices, and things like that. CBSN is pretty cool because it's not your traditional control room. How many television production people are oh, there's a lot. Okay, cool. So I won't nerd out too long. But you guys are familiar with control rooms and switchers and things like that. So CBSN is pretty cool because you have a director doing one job of the AD, of the technical director, of the graphics and audio and things like that. So our control room is pretty automated. So I'm talking to the entire crew. I'm putting up graphics. I'm counting us in and out of packages and things like that. And it takes away a few jobs, of course, but you know, we're doing a lot in one seat. It's pretty hard, but I wouldn't have it any other way. My journey to Mercy was a pretty long journey. I came in as a transfer student and probably should have came straight out of high school and saved my family some money, of course. But I knew one thing, that I wanted to study film and television in any capacity that I could. Before CBS and still at Mercy College, I took an internship at News 12, which turned into a freelance opportunity, and I worked there part-time for about 2 years. News 12 was really great because not only was it local news and I was familiar with, but they gave me a chance to play and touch with all their equipment and ask a million questions on how news was produced. I didn't know anything about news back then. I really wanted to be a filmmaker, but I couldn't stand out in the cold too long. It was too much of a hustle for me. I couldn't do it. And Mercy was great in helping me get that internship. At News 12, I just simply started off by shadowing some of the men and women in the control room to get a better understanding from a technical standpoint of how to prepare, execute, and produce a news segment. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I couldn't imagine this being an actual career opportunity for me because no one tells me like, hey, you can be a director. It's not something that happens often, of course. And I didn't see anyone that looked like me doing what I did. I learned quickly it wasn't going to be easy. I had to step out of my comfort zone and exude some type of confidence that I wasn't even sure was there. With every new daunting task at News 12, every new task they gave me, whether it was blocking shots or moving cameras or hopping in the car with the crew, I always said yes. Even though I was scared, I was shaking, but I always said yes. I would call my mom and be like, why do they have me doing something else? Like, I don't understand. I'd be crying on the phone. There are a few classes at Mercy that actually helped me with that confidence and boldness. I won't bore you guys too much, but I actually took a French class here, which was really fun. And the professor, for some reason, had us going to a French film festival, which was totally out of my realm. Don't know why I was there. I also took a women and gender studies course, which helped me understand like the women in media and lack thereof, of course, which was enlightening. But my favorite class was script writing. I took about 3 semesters of that, and it was taught by Professor McCarthy. I don't know if he teaches here anymore, of course, but, oh, he does? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, let's chat. No, because he was a really good professor, and I actually still talk about that class in the lessons today. Oh, that's really good. Save the cat, right? Save the cat. Are you guys reading that? See? Okay, great. So, long story short, that class helped me be creative. It forced me to get my ideas out on the paper and share them with others, of course, which is really hard when you're writing your feelings down and everything like that. I say that all to say that, you know, those classes helped me build the confidence that I have now in the real world. I often felt like a small fish in a big pond, and especially being the only woman of color in a male-dominated control room, which happens more than you would ever know. It's also hard to get my ideas out there and my voice being heard, as well as I'm directing a live show at the same time. But we're getting better in there. It's still hard, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It's helped me build a thick skin and travel down a road that was not paved for me. I'll end on this note, and I encourage a few of you, if you're graduating soon or you have a few more semesters left, look into getting a mentor, or even better, being a mentor. Like Lou mentioned, I recently mentored a young girl in Brooklyn, and we together, but mostly her, we filmed, we directed, and developed a whole short documentary together. And I learned so much with her and through her. She actually wanted to be an animator. She was only 15, and she was pretty dope. So I encourage everyone to kind of go out there, get a mentor if you could, and kind of like pave the way for people like you don't see in the control room. We need more people, you know, like myself in the newsroom and things like that. So, because I hope to do that, you know, to people one day. So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Moving on to the student section of the awards, and this next person needs no introduction. He's our department chair of communication and the arts. He's the faculty advisor to the Impact newspaper. He teaches the journalism classes at Mercy College. Please welcome Professor Michael Parada.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Got a lot of awards here. First, I'd like to have applause for Joe and Shannon for coming and speaking to us. So thank you. Thank you for coming. Love to have you back. Thanks for all your words. Usually I give the state on the state of journalism, but I think Joe beat me to that already, so I'll spare you my lecture. But I'll say this, over the weekend, for those of you that didn't see it, there was a story written by New York Magazine about some college students at Sarah Lawrence. I don't know if anyone has seen that story, but it was about some students getting involved into a cult-like setting. Very dangerous story, very dangerous situation. And in the story, multiple times they repeated that the authorities could not help since the students were over 18 years old and by definition, they were making their own decisions. And these are the opportunities as storytellers, as media makers. We're the people that bring awareness to these situations. We're the ones that are going to fix this situation because it's already in motion. And if it wasn't for what you're being trained to do and what you are all going to be doing in a few years, that's where society really starts to crumble. If it isn't for the free media, isn't for the people who not only go out there that want to be on television and want to be successful, but when you want to make a difference in this field, that's when it becomes even more rewarding, and that's when you'll be even more successful. I remember, 20 years ago getting into this business, first time someone reached back out to me and said, hey, that really changed everything for me. I was like, oh, wow, I kind of forgot that this is what we're doing. We're making people's lives better. So keep that in mind, that's what we're here to do. We're here to right the wrongs. So on to the awards. Okay, that's not where we want to start. Whichever way we want. So we had it's never in the order I set it up to be in, but that's what makes it even more fun, because that's the media, that's what's going on. You never know what you're going to get hit with. So we will start with Christina Galgano. That's not okay. Technical difficult. No. Okay, so we're going to start with an investigative journalism class. This was a really fun class. We were practicing what we were preaching. We were actually getting, our hands dirty, and we were reaching out to real organizations, real politicians. The County of Westchester executive called me and said, what are you guys up to over there at Mercy College? People keep calling me, asking me what's going on in our prisons. I said, oh, we're just doing journalism. And they, oh, please don't. So it was a fun class. And, we had some students who really wrote some great stories. So the first one to bring up is Stephen Lyons. Steve.
Oh my God. Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Get out of here. You know what? We have so many. We'll do pictures with the awards after. I'm going to hand it to you. And Michael Dunnings. Okay, we'll do that at the end. Congratulations, sir.
I really wait.
Get out of here. Is Carly here? Carly Fosco? Carly Fosco? Sports reporting. Love this guy. Listen, I came into this field as a sports reporter in the beginning. This is all I wanted to do. I wanted to do sports. And once you get into the news game, you say, wow, the news game's even crazier than you were expecting. This is even more fun. But my heart is always still with sports, and I have a blast teaching this course, every year. Students who always come in and say, I'm a sports fan, and I think I could do sports, until they really start realizing there's a process to it. And we've had some people really go on and have some successful careers in the field. So to start, we have Turin Flaherty. Stephen Keener. Good job, Stevie. Daniel Rebane. Hey, take your time, Dan. We only got like 50 more.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Sarah Cordo, is Sarah here? No. Alexis Lynch. Not only has this student been doing it in the class, but he's been writing for The Impact for the past 2 years in sports, and has really beefed up the sports program, the sports department getting in there. Ellis Joshua. Going to move on to feature writing class. For those that don't know, feature writing is finding someone who's typically not a newsmaker, someone who does something interesting, someone who's done something amazing, someone who's maybe fallen on some hard times. These are the real stories where you bring the emotion out of news reporting. I have a lot of successful students. When they first take this class, they realize that it's not just statistics, that it's not just by the numbers. They really get to tell a story. Randy Rooney. Is Macy Clark? Is Macy here? There's you, Macy Clark. Congratulations. Great job. Juliana Trenton. Congratulations. And you can't say Juliana without her roommate, Maya Wiggins. Going to move to news reporting. News reporting is a class where we learn the basics and we start understanding what news is. Plus, this award also goes to reporters that are on the impact, that are going out, that are reporting stories, that are creating the content for our college newspaper. Brian Pinheiro. Stephen Keener. Michael Pantaleo. It's supposed to be a mistake. It's supposed to be a mistake. Adriana Savinza. Jared Knott. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Column writing. We run a column on the impact. If you become a reporter on the impact, you also get a column, which is, I try to explain to students, that's a really big responsibility, because when you're a professional, you really don't get that opportunity to become a columnist. So your whole life you've been telling everyone, I want to write about what I want to write about. And okay, here's your opportunity. And then the first glance you usually get is like, well, I don't know what to write about. You know, well, here's your chance. Some of these students are really taking it, and this is also my secret way of making them practice writing every week. They don't realize that I'm really tricking them the entire way, you know, but this is where they really get to say who they are, the experiences that they lived in, and how they view the world, and that's kind of what makes this fun. Jared Nottingham. Nicole Acosta. Get out of here. The woman with the camera, Valerie Lopez. Congratulations. Brian Pinheiro. This award is for exploratory journalism. Everyone always says, what is that? This is for the reporter. I always only give this one once a year. This is for the reporter that comes up with stories that no one else really comes up with. When you're outside the box, when, you know, a lot of the stories you see, almost everyone can come up with those stories. It depends on how we're going to tell them. But there's always one reporter who comes up with these ideas, comes up with these stories, and say, where are you getting this idea from? So I only give it once a year, and this year is back to Valerie Lopez. Next up is our Excellence in Journalism Award. This award sometimes goes to one, sometimes goes to two, and there's two students that have really we feel deserve the award. We named to both, and we're going to award 2 tonight, and I want them both to come up together, because really as a team they've worked a lot over the past couple of years, and they're both graduating seniors. The first served as an associate editor for us last year, and he really took a strong interest in history and the environment, and keeping our country green, and bringing those history lessons that some of us don't want to read. That we said, this is important, you need to read this. And our other is serving as the managing editor right now, and she's done a phenomenal job not only running the staff, but writing tremendous stories and keeping up the team concept and all the hoopla that's going on over there. So I'm going to bring up Michael Dunnings and Nicole Acosta. So you guys take a picture together. You guys take the picture together. You guys take the picture. Beat it. We're going to take this right here. Okay, so as I'm wrapping up Quill Awards, I'm going to briefly hand out, every year we submit to the New York Press Association, and the first couple of years when we were already getting the Impact Off grant, if we won one every 3 years, we were thrilled, to tell you the truth. Walking in before my tenure, Mercy had never won one at all. And we kind of really made this, we got to get one. So I kind of always started throwing this into the Quill Awards because it was usually just one award every couple of years. And then over the past couple of years, we've started to get into the mode where we're starting to win so many awards we could maybe have a separate ceremony. So for the past 3 years, we've won 4 awards, which is the second most in the state of New York of any college. So that's really something we're proud of to say. So there's a lot of pressure on this staff to keep up with that reputation. So, we got to win 4. We got to win 4 now because, I remember we won 1 and then we won 2. Our heads exploded, and then we won 3. And now we're at 4 now. And they say 3 years in a row we won 4. And unfortunately, I could say we didn't hit 4 this year, but we had to hit 5. So we actually won the most we've ever won. I guess 4 is no good. We're going to win 5. And now everyone that's coming back, now you have to win 5 again next year. So maybe 6. So you've heard some of these names before. They're going to come back up. So this first, actually I have a little note here. This first award is for the column section. I talked about columns before. So I always stress this is your opportunity to brand yourself, to be you, to let your passion out. And students really come out with things that really mean something to them. So some of them talk about the world, some of them talk about life experiences. This student, she had a really interesting story about an old friend that they were once best friends, and now a strange occurrence happened, and how they don't speak anymore, and an abusive relationship. Or I'm sorry, that was a different student. Or the social anxiety of the world, and she's written many beautiful columns, and now. Today, she's the 3rd best columnist in the state of New York, and that's your winner of Journalism Excellence a minute ago, Nicole Acosta. On to the second. This student was kind of new to the staff this year, and she came out guns a-blazing, and one of her more meaningful columns was called Why I Didn't Speak Out Sooner, and about some of the challenges, So some of the challenges that she faced as a woman being put in the world that women are unfortunately faced in today. So coupled with that, with dealing with abusive relationships and the world that she's in, I think she quickly realized that when she can write about these situations, she's conquering these situations. And we're really proud of her. So now, the second best columnist in the state of New York is Valerie Lopez. In the end, my heart is always with news reporting, and this following award is for the news reporting category, which is a very, very difficult category. You are judged by your sources, you're judged by your topic, you're judged by your accuracy. So to place in this category is really, really prestigious. And if you weren't aware of this, we're in the middle of an opiate crisis. We have an opiate crisis in this country, and we have one in Westchester County. And these two students teamed together to do a story that I wanted the staff to realize that just because we're reporting for Mercy College doesn't mean we only have to report about Mercy College. We report about the world that's around us, the state that's around us, college life that's around us. So these two students did a great job of, working for a good month on this story and producing a page one story that's the second best story apparently in the state of New York. So second place for news story is Nicole Acosta and Matt Wright. 3 years ago, Kayla Simas won her third New York Press Association award, and up until then, no one has met that mark. We have a couple people at 2, but tonight, someone is going to get to 3. She's graduated already. She's already working professionally as a reporter, and she wrote with another staff member who unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight, but she wrote in the editorial section 3 solid editorials about, things we need to fix in this world. And the first, they talked about the Me Too movement. We talked about, what did we talk about? Sorry, kidding. About the challenges of of the Me Too movement and coming out and facing these challenges. But I think the one that got them was the last editorial, which was aptly called "Why Straws Suck." So I mean, if we're going to be academic about it, why not just tell about the pollution? But it really got into the pollution of what we do to our rivers and our water when we're using these straws. So winning her 3rd New York Press Association award, 3rd place in the editorial op-ed is Liv Meyer. And her Congratulations. Yeah. Okay, last award. And if you don't realize, this is not a frame, this is a plaque, and only first place get plaques. And we've only had 1 first place in the past 10 years, and now we have 2. Thing about the editorial category is you have to have a lot to say, and that's one thing about Mercy College students is they always have a lot to say, sometimes too much. But if it's well researched and it makes a difference, then they're right on track. So we have a first place editorial winner. This is actually, you have to submit 3 from the category, and each one of these staff members wrote one. The first was about climate change. The second was about the Me Too movement, and the third was about how transgender people need equal rights as well. So we have a shared award, our second first place, and this is our 5th award of the night. You've heard her name before, Nicole Acosta, Stephen Keener, and Michael Dunnings. Congratulations. Who knew? Congratulations. Hey, you having a good night? So Nicole, in one night, you've just tied the record for the most awards, so good for you. If only there was somebody from ABC here who... Thank you, everyone. Back to Lou Grasso. He put this all together. He's been working on it all semester. Give him a hand. On
to another concentration, film culture, or film and culture. We have 4 professors that teach 4 different courses every semester. One of them is here with us tonight to hand out all the awards for all the film courses over 2 semesters. Please welcome Professor Stephen DeRosa.
I'm so happy to be representing the Film and Culture concentration and to talk a little bit about that tonight before getting to the awards. This concentration has really, I think, blossomed in the last couple of years. And as many of my students here will attest, we've been grateful and fortunate, thanks to a couple of faculty senate microgrants, to be able to go to the Alamo Cinema in Yonkers for a lot of the screenings in the various courses that I've been teaching in the last 4 semesters. And it's not just myself and the students who are there, viewing these films. And this has been for, let's say, for Hollywood's Golden Age, Hitchcock Disciples, for the Hollywood Western class. And we're also there with an audience, a paying audience, who are there to come out on a Wednesday night. We might have 75 to 100 people in the audience joining us for the screening. So it really provides the opportunity for the students to experience these films the way they were meant to be seen on on a big screen, bigger than this one, in a theater with an audience. And heaven forbid you're watching these movies, for my class on something like this. I can't even think about that. But what's really cool about it, it's that the patrons at the theater, they partake in the pre-film and the post-film discussions as well. And so we're actually kind of building a little bit of a following at the theater as well. So this whole idea, when I wrote this for this micro grant, that film is a community experience, that's happening. It's happening at the Alamo Theater in Yonkers. So Wednesday evenings from 6:15 to 9:05 is when my class is, and we're there, not every week, but every few weeks, so you could check out their schedule. So in the fall, I'll be back there for the Hitchcock Disciples class. So hope anyone who wants to register, there's still seats available. I noticed how I got the plug in there. So it's been great to do that. So as I think Shannon could attest, in the film and culture concentration, we don't make films. We have a lot of lively discussions about the movies. And a lot of these films, a lot of these classes and the discussions tend to kind of center around the same idea, the same themes, no matter what the course might be. Film is a medium that allows us to really look closely at ourselves, right? And when we do that, we kind of run the gamut of emotions. We can look and we can laugh at ourselves. We could be moved to tears. We could become frightened. We can be excited. We could get angry, and hopefully at times even we could be inspired to become better human beings. And that's what a lot of these conversations with my students and together, that's what we discuss. So it's really, it's this moving experience in a lot of ways. And now I'll get to the awards. I'm going to call each class. So these are all different courses that have been run in the last 2 semesters. And if I butcher anybody's name, please forgive me now. All right, so for the language of film, Megan Kaler. Is Megan here? Megan is not here. Okay. Alyssa Rodriguez. My pleasure, thank you. Cecile Sinat. And for film and culture, Gordon Ward. So Gordon. Congratulations. Get ready, you're going to be coming up. Andrew Barry. Congratulations. You're going to be making that step with that. Okay. This is writing for film and television. Michael Z. Cohen. Michael is not here. Gordon Ward. Okay. Reggie Agosa. Reggie? Okay, for the Hollywood Westerns class. Andrew Barry. Scarlett Kahan.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Johnny Adams. You see Johnny here. Okay, for Masters of Film, this is the one of the courses that involves Alfred Hitchcock. This is Griffith, Wells, and Hitchcock, Masters of Film. Andrew Barry. Macy Clark. Scarlett Kahan.
No speech, no speech. You're good.
Gordon Ward.
Got a full collection.
Okay, this is European Trends in Film. Brian Pinero.
Good to see you. How you doing? All right, awesome.
History of World Cinema. Ryan, get back up here.
You're killing it. I saw, right? Good for you.
Awesome. And, of course, Michael Dunning.
Okay, Mike.
I should just say one word about Michael. He graduated last semester, and yet he's still been coming to Alamo to a lot of the screenings in my courses. So thank you, Michael, for coming. Congratulations to all the winners in the film and culture.
All right, thanks, Professor DeRosa. We have two brief but not understated at all categories. We have the performance category with our in-house faculty member, Professor Mark Palmieri, who will give out these awards. Welcome, Mark Palmieri.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you to our guests tonight, and to Lou for entrusting me with these performance courses. We typically offer one per semester. This year we had Introduction to Acting and Scene Study, which is in the spring. It's not over yet, you two. Introduction to Acting is what it sounds like. Basics of speech, stage speech and gesture and movement, rehearsal process and performance. It falls nicely in the cycle for us to put together a 10 or 11-minute version of this year's Spoon River Anthology, which went very well at the showcase that Lou puts together for media studies. And in Scene Study, we focus on classical text, Shakespeare scripts, script analysis, character, enunciation of iambic pentameter, and Elizabethan staging of these plays. It's a particular honor to me to be teaching these courses at the college level. When I was an undergraduate at Wake Forest and majoring very much in baseball, and pretty certain that that was all I should be majoring in and all that I was worth, it was theater courses that really did change me very much, that inspired me to consider that there was much more to me than that, and it's a real joy to see that happen in front of me in these classes. And I really could award every student that participates in these classes with with an award for participating, jumping in when so often they hadn't done this before, to get up on a stage in front of people and perform and work with each other in character in this way. The awards tonight I am giving out to three individuals who showed a particular generosity in these classes. Michaela Newham, who's not here tonight, who's also a varsity softball player, is involved in the exit meetings today. They sadly ended their season yesterday, but in spite of the rigors of her schedule, was always super prepared and enthusiastic, and had discovered a new love in her life, and it certainly was something that I recognized as a wonderful moment in her life. And I think she has plans to continue that pursuit. I apologize to her parents for that. I want to talk about one student, Jonathan Delgado, who is receiving this award tonight. So one of the many students who was jumping into this activity for the first time, and of course we saw a tremendous amount of progress evolve in Jonathan's performance. In fact, he joined the theater club and was in at least 2 scenes over at the Irvington Town Hall Theater just a couple weeks ago. But I wanted to tell a short story about a moment in the introduction to acting class that Jonathan was in. He had an acting partner who was quite shy, and took a bit of time to work herself into being able to bring herself onto the lecture hall stage and rehearse in front of the other students. And she told me straight off, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You know, I know I have my script. I'm not going up there. And she sat in the back row, and Jonathan was ready to rehearse, of course, and had prepared. And I came over to Jonathan. I said, you know, I don't think this is going to happen today, and you can go, you know. And Jonathan said, I'll stick around. I'll look at my script, and maybe she'll change her mind. A good hour and a half later, she had not changed her mind, and we were almost done with the scenes, and Jonathan was still sitting there, and I went over to this student. I said, you know, your partner's still here, and we can rehearse by ourselves if you like, and we don't even have to go up on the stage. We could just do it in the aisle if you like. And John was sitting there, and she looked at Jonathan, and she said, all right, I'll do it. I'll do it. And they went on stage and rehearsed their scene from The Glass Menagerie, where Jonathan played the gentleman caller. And he was very much a gentleman, and very generous and patient with this student who not only executed the scene, then asked for more lines a few weeks later in the Spoon River Anthology. So Jonathan, thank you for that, for sticking around and providing that kind of example of what ensemble work is all about. Jonathan Delgado, congratulations. This next student has given more than himself to the program, to theater, to Mercy College in the 2 years that I've known him. Riaz Betancourt. See, Riaz, it's good to be the president of the drama club, of the theater club here at Mercy College. Riaz has learned to be stage manager, producer, PR manager, of course, actor, director, assistant director, psychologist, and everything else that we needed to produce a successful showcase this year. And we'll need you again next year. Riaz, congratulations, and thank you for all your work. And that is all I have. Thank you again very much.
This is Dr. Jason Zallinger manages our communication studies major at the college, and our creative advertising course is both a media studies course and a communication studies course. and he'll be handing out these 3 awards for communication studies people.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. So I do not teach creative advertising. The person who teaches that is Jade Snyder, a longtime. Jade is fantastic. She's been a lecturer at this school for the last 4 or 5 years. She essentially built all of our public relations, advertising, strategic communications courses. We would be lost without her. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it tonight. I cannot speak about being an advertiser and exactly all of those things, but I will say that Jade has done wonderful work, and I know these students, and they have done a great job and will become, under her tutelage, the message makers of tomorrow. First, we have Amanda Sickler. Okay, all right. Next, we have Chelsea Castro. And finally, we have Alyssa Rodriguez. The awards.
All right, here we go. Professor John Masevich teaches radio production and video editing, and he cannot be here this evening. He's really very sorry about that. He asked me to extend the congratulations. So I'll be handing out the awards for radio production 1 and 2 and video editing 1 and 2. In a way, it seems appropriate because when I first started teaching college courses back in the late 1980s, those are the courses I was actually teaching, video editing and radio production and everything. So this is for radio production 1. In this particular course, students are working behind the console and using the microphone at the same time. They're mixing in various sound sources, and it's all done live. It's not pre-recorded. So it's the first time they're actually doing this. Okay, so the awards for radio production 1 is Marissa Miano. And next up, we have Randy Rooney. I like your hair tonight. Different color. Okay. Next up, we have Maxine Riviera. Riviera? Okay, I'm sorry, Maxine. And that's Rivera. I can't speak Spanish. I don't know. Okay, so Radio 2. Radio Production 2 is where students use the work they've created in Radio Production 1, their public service announcements, their commercials, and they mix it into a program, a half-hour block of programming adhering to a certain style of format. Okay, they also create more programming. They work in groups of 2 and 3, and they produce half-hour radio programs. This is Adriana Salvinza. Rose Rizzi. Nice job. Thank you so much. Maxine, once again, Maxine. That's a nice picture now. Look. Caroline Newman, running camera back there for us. Caroline. Sit down, your feet hurt? Okay. All right. Is Carly Fusco here? Carly? I didn't see her. Okay, sorry. Okay, next we're on to video editing 1 and video editing 2. In video editing 1, they're learning, for the first time how to look at pictures and take them and mix them, take them out of context to create a completely new storyline. Okay, they're also learning software-intensive programs on Adobe Premiere and DaVinci Resolve. And there's 2 levels of this class. First is video editing 1, and Adriana is back up with an award from John Masevich. Okay, Randy Rooney once again. Okay. And Paul, I can't spell you, I can't pronounce your last name. Paulie G. Where's Paul G? Now, it's an Italian last name, and I'm Italian, I should be able to pronounce it, but I can't pronounce it. Gennardi, okay, there you go. Okay, next is for video editing level 2, where students are doing a little bit more with video editing. They're creating complete narratives, long form, maybe 4 or 5 minutes as opposed to 30 seconds to a minute. This is video editing 2. Raymer Cardona, Raymer. Macy Clark. You're good tonight, right? You're pretty good tonight. You're gonna wallpaper your room.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay, so that was Professor John Masevich's awards. Now we're on to television production, which is my area specifically now at the college. For TV1, Fundamentals of Television Production, students in this class is the first time they're exposed to a studio, multi-camera studio, and doing all the jobs associated with producing a 3-minute talk show, basically. They're directing, they're assistant directing, technical directing, they're running cameras, they're floor managing, they're running graphics, they're running sound. It's a whole thing, it's a whole concert effort, in concert. Everyone's got to work together in order to produce like 3 minutes of video. So I rarely give out awards in this category, but there are 2 students this semester which were really very good, I thought. Vernon Thomas is here. Is Saki here? I didn't see her, right? No. And the next will be Leah Petty. Leah Petty. Leah, go around and nice picture. There you go. You're welcome. Okay. TV2, TV television production 2, where students are working in a studio with scripts, storyboards, shot sheets, and it's a well-rehearsed scene. So everyone is a part of the performance, the camera people included, with people in front of the camera as well. Jonathan Delgado. You're doing well tonight. Okay. Maxine, once again, Maxine. You should dress more often. Good things happen when you dress. Dan Rebane, Daniel Rebane. Your mom would be very proud. Turn around, get a picture. Advanced Television Studio Production. This is level 3 studio production. In this class, students are writing and producing their own fictional narrative scenes in a multi-camera live studio environment. It's similar to TV2, but now they're using TV2 as a model to write their own material. Here we go. Nicole Acosta. I mean, thank you. You're welcome. Is there any category, Nicole, that you haven't picked up? Christine's not here. And Randy Rooney. Randy's back again. Once again. Congratulations. Okay. And Eric Scrappitz. Eric. Nice. Man, put on a jacket and tie. All right. For me, boss. Estefania Salinas. Take it easy. That's for you.
There you go.
There you go.
Wait 1 second.
One more. We're coming to the end, I promise. John's not here. RJ Flores, where's RJ? Regina. Okay. Video documentary. This is the last, I believe it's the last category we have tonight. Okay, he's not here. Okay. Okay, in this class, video documentary, it's like level 8 in the television production sequence. Students take 3 studio production courses, they take field production courses, 2 of those, they take 2 levels of video editing, and it all culminates in this video documentary class, which they're learning about documentaries, but also they produce a documentary most of the time as a class. The first person, Celia Stenak. Angela's not here. Daniel's not here. Caroline Newman. Smile. All right, well. All right. That's really it. But I want to ask a question to the audience. We have a lot of program alums here tonight. Media Studies program alums. How many program alums are here tonight? Wow. I mean, that's really wonderful that people are coming back to celebrate the Quill Awards. I really do appreciate that. You're supporting the program and the college. It's really great. I'd like to thank everyone, the students, of course, for participating, the faculty members for coming up and presenting the awards. I'd like to thank President Hall for attending. I'd like to thank Dr. Herrera for attending. Of course, Mr. Joe Torres for his wonderful speech about his career and the industry. I'd like to thank Shannon Freeman for her experiences in the industry. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And there's more food, so enjoy.